What do you think, Monkey? Are you here? Are you ready to go? Are you a champion for the downtrodden? Are you a representative of your people? Are you ready? Are you ready, buddy?
Okay, here we go. There it is. Hello. Hi. Welcome. Uh, Welcome to day one of the Spypocalypse. This is the beginning of the market crash today. Mark the market. Spy had a big old whoopsie daisy, and then somehow rallied, then whoopsie daisied again. Trump's Treasury Secretary came out right around close of the market and was like, "It's a good chance Trump will repeal the sanctions tomorrow, or the tariffs tomorrow." Yeah, right, dude. Like, okay, you just said that Trump went and bought a whole bunch of spy calls, is what you said, and that's the entire game. Name of the game is to game the system. I did really well earlier this morning. I took my eye off the ball, and I sold my Tesla puts for woohoo. Bought a whole bunch of spy puts. Wrote it down, hit 572, and I was like, should I sell? Should I ride a little longer? And then it went, and so starting over again. Got out with about what I put in before I bought my Tesla puts. So start again. We're gonna try for it. If I had sold at 572, bought calls at 572, I would have finished the day with so much. Oh my gosh. Well, some lessons are expensive, right, Monkey? Yep. The options bug got me again. Well, you staring at each other. Yeah, fat cat's down there staring right back at the monkey butt. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Canada basically canceled all American imports. All the booze, the number one importer of American booze, and they're not importing it anymore. So no more California wines, no more bourbons or anything else. Canadians are just going to drink Seagrams and stuff from Europe, I guess, at this point. And they're tacking on a huge tariff for electricity. So if you are in the northeast of the country, you're going to be paying a lot for power, a lot. So better hope it's not a hot summer where you're using the air conditioning a lot. And you're kind of lucky that most of winter is over by now, so you haven't used like electric furnaces and all that jazz. But yeah, this is a mess. The price of a Dodge Ram, of the base model Dodge Ram, just crossed $100,000 as a result of these tariffs. $100,000 for a pickup truck. Just mind-blowing. So, with that being said, let's watch the world blow up one more time, shall we? Meh. Oops. Meh. How you doing down there, man? That's at least something I can enjoy, right? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Got a happy dog. Happy dog, happy life. Muley McWoolhead was first. N9 was second. Jay Geyser said second, but no, Jay Geyser, you were third. Sucker. N9. So you think the full GOP are Russian assets at this point? Other than outliers like Romney? It has to be. A lot of them are, and the rest of them are a bunch of pansies. That's basically what it comes down to, is that these guys know that their co-workers are completely corrupt. But they're too scared to do anything about it because Elon said he'll spend $100 million primarying every single solitary person that steps out of line in the Republican Party. So at this point, grow some balls. Get together with the people you know who aren't Russian assets and start putting an end to this crap. Put America first, just like you guys chant, America first, and then you're not doing anything that helps America whatsoever. You're America lasting it like crazy right now. So, yeah, if they aren't absolutely, corrupted Kremlin asset, they are too scared to do anything about it. And that doesn't bode well for anybody. That just means that they're just pansies who shouldn't have a job anyway. So, yeah, let Elon spend $100 million primarying them. Elon has like a 25% approval rating right now. The town had to cancel the town halls because basically everyone was getting booed until they left. The boos were heavy, and these are boos coming from like disabled veterans and old ladies, and in very like 80% Republican districts. People are pissed. If you are a Republican in some 85% Republican county in Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, right? And they just closed the National Weather Service offices in your area, you're going to die from tornadoes and not know it's coming. You're not going to get the early warning because there's nobody sitting there watching the early warning systems. Not only that, but they're now giving up the leases on the buildings that house things like their Doppler radars. So you're not going to know. It's going to be raining one night. You're like, oh, it's a breezy out there. And then an F5 tornado is going to wipe out your entire town, and no one's going to know to have gotten into their shelters. And that's going to be it. You and your fellow residents will be gone, sucked up into sky, pelted with a whole bunch of like shrapnel, and then deposited somewhere in a field. And that's your future because you weren't willing to spend. What was it we spent on weather in the United States? Something like $7 per person per year is how much we spent on forecasting the weather. And I read an article, was it yesterday, the day before? It was all about how much money the National Weather Service and NOAA has saved Americans. And it's something like trillions of dollars because it allows us to get resources out of the way of storms, to build buildings to protect themselves from storms because we know how these storms work. It's studying floodplains and everything else. And it's saved hundreds of thousands of lives and trillions of dollars in infrastructure and goods. And it's ridiculous that we're not willing to pay for this. Now, if you look at it through the lens of the Kremlin, right? The Kremlin knows they have a shit military, that they cannot compete at all with the U.S. military, that our NATO standard weapons are vastly superior, as evidenced by the smaller force of Ukraine just doing like a 5-to-1 kill ratio or greater in Russia, against Russia in there. And that's 40-year-old equipment. We got modern stuff here that is scary, absolutely scary. The cross-section of Russia's only 5th-gen plane, the Su-57 or whatever it is, the radar cross-section of that is larger than if you could take every F-117, B-2 bomber, F-22, and F-35 and you combine them together. That is how vastly superior the weapon systems are here. So if you are Russian mud people and you want to somehow defeat us, you're going to have to do asymmetric warfare. And the asymmetric warfare, holy shit, are we just eating it up, right? The best thing you can do as Russians, as Kremlin, is to convince Americans to kill themselves, injure themselves, and destroy their own infrastructure. So you convince them, hey, why would you get vaccinated? All you need to do is take a bunch of horse medicine, right? And you're fine. So then millions of Americans die, huge loss in productivity. It takes us years to rebound from that, right? And and then you get like lots of kids dying from preventive things like measles and tetanus and diphtheria and all those other things that are just resurging right now. You also destroy the National Weather Service. You make it so that we can't predict the weather. And if that's the case, then people die in storms because they don't know they're coming, right? Just go look at hurricanes in Galveston, the first half of the last century, where like 30,000 people would die because they're just like, oh, what a beautiful, hot, calm day. And the next day, a Category 5 with a 30-foot storm surge kills everybody because they had no warning. We had no satellites in 1922, right? Nothing looking down and be like, oh, look at the track of that hurricane. And now we're getting rid of them. We're getting rid of the stations that take in the radar, the radio signals from these things. We're giving those up. So now we're not going to have local weather forecasters being able to forecast weather. And the crazy thing is that you have like Weather Channel and AccuWeather. These guys are like, that's fine, we'll do it. But AccuWeather and Weather Channel don't have their own weather monitoring systems. They use the computer projections of the United States government and the Doppler radars and the satellite imaging that is all provided by the government. So if all of a sudden there's no one operating that stuff, then AccuWeather has no weather forecasting ability, and Weather Channel has no weather forecasting ability, right? Weather.com has no weather forecasting ability, and so they're all going to be wrong. It's absolutely bonkers, man. It's silly willy, dude. Silly willy. Yeah. So that was a long tangent there. Oh, I forgot. Gfont sent a treat. Sent a treat. A super chat. This is for a treat for Monkey Butt. We lost our pup last week, and the worst feeling. Dog's the best. Oh, buddy. Here, in honor of your pup, some more dried liver pate. Right. Oh, these stinky little lovelies. It's like a little piece of like mushroom almost. Yeah. Oh, eat that. Nom 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 nom. We got a couple of those stinky little buddies left. I don't even know what kind of liver it is. It's some animal's liver. I don't know. But thank you, Gfont. And Monkey, you appreciate it, right? You say thank you? Can you say thank you? I could be like JD Vance and be like, well, have you thanked Gfont yet? Blah, 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 blah. And 9, I don't want to be a mud person. Used. Too late. You signed the contract. We're all mud people now. So, get used to it. I was just talking with my roommate. Before Scott Adams became an absolute insane racist weirdo. I mean, he may have always been an insane racist weirdo, but before we became aware of it, his old comics, and I've got, there's actually a couple of his books on that shelf right there from the 90s. There was a fake country called Elbonia that he used, and they were literal mud people. Like, the images of all of them were like up to their waist in mud, wading around in mud, and it was where Dilbert's company would get like cheap labor, and that was the cheap labor they exploit was from Elbonia. And Scott Adams fully knows what mud people. He knows. They were an allegory for Eastern Bloc countries and former Soviet states and Russians. And he has somehow aligned himself with them and gone pro mud people, I guess. But yeah, and 9, sorry, you're a mud person now. Lone Wolf, Houston. Have you heard of Professor Jeffrey Sachs? If so, what do you think of his take on Ukraine and his explanation for how it all started? Yeah, Jeffrey Sachs is a paid Kremlin apologist. He literally makes his money taking money from Kremlin sources to spout bullshit. So, Jeffrey Sachs is not to be trusted in any way, shape, or form. If Jeffrey Sachs actually had an honest debate with somebody, he would lose. But instead, he only goes to these like little talks with an MC who's got pre-approved questions and allows Jeffrey to just yickety yak completely unquestioned. Jeffrey will bring up, he's like, well, during the Iron Maiden, the Maiden Revolution, in 2014, the Ukrainians burned a whole bunch of Russians alive in a building. And then the MC goes, oh, wow, it's tragic. What Jeffrey wouldn't explain is that the Russians in that building were like GRU officers and fired on a crowd of people and killed like 16 of them. And so the crowd went nuts and burned the building down with them inside. Oh, fuck around, find out. Sorry, Russian guys. It was a coup. Okay. Cool. Why'd the guy who was the victim of that, or the target of that coup, flee to Russia? He could have fled anywhere, but he chose Moscow. Why did he do that? Right? Oh, it was an organic uprising in the East. Dude, the Russian soldiers were so stupid, they left their geotagging on so you could follow them from Russia on their Instagram accounts into Ukraine. No, it was not some sort of like, it was organic and the Russian separatists. No, it was Russian soldiers invaded Ukraine and started killing people. That was it. It was that simple. No, Jeffrey Sachs is he's a lying sack of shit. And I hope he gets what's coming to him, because eventually they all are. Nikes, happy Mardi Gras. Oh yeah, it's Mardi Gras. It's Fat Tuesday today, isn't it, Monkey? I totally forgot about that. That means I forgot. I got sent my Mardi Gras beads And come on, let go. Let go. Oh, and my Scott Adams thingy fell down. Nope, there you go. You stay there. God damn it. It's a disaster. There you go. Okay. Wait, will that one even fit? No, it might not fit. There we go. Okay. I think that's there. That one can go over. And then this one. Oh, that thing still has its dude again. Oh, that's why it wouldn't fit, because there. This one's a tie. Go that way. Nope. Nope. Definitely. My head is too big for this one. So it can be like a drunken office party. There we go. All right. So happy Fat Tuesday. These are legit ones. A New Orleans viewer sent me last year. Oh, that one still got its tag on too. Oh, how embarrassing. These are like nice beads. These are definitely. Oh, that one's not on. Now it's on. Okay, why are you stuck? Let's get that going there. Okay, so this one is the Cirque Crew. Ooh, that one lights up. How about that? Okay, this one lights up too. What's this one say? Mystic Strips. Oh no, that one's dead. All right. Happy Fat Tuesday. Okay. KYP's here. Hello, KYP. Kelly Reed. Happy birthday, HW. Tariff wars risk sinking world into new Great Depression. International Chambers of Commerce warns Houston, get ready to say I told you so live on TV. I told you so. Told you so. Told you so. I honestly don't know how much of the GDP is going to get blown up by the tariffs, but it's going to be enough to be concerning to put us into recession. And you got to combine that with all the other things that are going to put us in recession. Housing, commercial real estate. Those are big ones, right? Firing hundreds of thousands of government workers and eliminating at least $2 trillion in the velocity of money for our economy. So there's, another 10% of our economy or more, right? Like, it is ridiculous. And we still have bird flu coming. Still have bird flu on the way. Hooray. We got that still. Killing cows and chickens. Making milk, butter, and eggs go bonkers. Yeah. We really are speed running the apocalypse in a way that it blows my mind. Like, there's that the Crowder, the comedian, the southern guy, is a comedian. He's basically like, you'd expect them in their mission to destroy the United States of America to mess up and not get it right, but they're basically like scoring a perfect 0 on the SATs, which is just as hard as scoring a perfect score. like if you get answers wrong, you can actually get negative points. So you have to do it perfectly to get a 0. Yeah, it's phenomenal. Just how efficient they are at absolutely blowing everything up, and how easy they are to spin everything so that any criticism just gets shoved to the side. People are pissed. Approval ratings for Trump and Elon are in the toilet. They are so mad right now. But you wouldn't know it if you watched the news, right? Who's that Jeffrey, what's his name, who's taken over Paramount and like CBS? He's a total douchebag. He somehow, for some reason, agreed to pay Trump $250 million settlement because Trump refused to go on 60 Minutes during the campaign. Like, that was Trump's decision. Why are you giving him $250 million, you fucking dweeb? So he's like really mad that since inauguration, every episode of 60 Minutes has been Trump's a giant piece of shit. He's going to get you all killed, and he's destroying democracy. Our next story is about someone else from another country 40 years ago did exactly the same thing, and now they're dead. Like, that's basically what 60 Minutes have been doing. And the head of CBS News is like, I'm not going to kowtow to that bullshit for this guy. I'm going to report on the accurate things. I thank you, my man. Like, please do. So until you get your ass fired, then all of a sudden 60 Minutes becomes unwatchable because it's all going to be like what Dateline turned into. Is like, it's a murder mystery of the ages. They talk about some housewife that was murdered 30 years ago for an hour. No, like 60 Minutes, stand your ground. Stand your ground, everybody. My own sister is standing her ground. She's facing getting shit canned by the Navy because she's basically being like, hey, everybody, they erased from the Navy website the history of all these black sailors and the first woman fighter pilot and all this stuff because it was too DEI. So she's like, I am going to tell you all about their history. This is PX that's going to fire her ass. But you know what? She's going to go down swinging. Good for her. You know, my mom raised her right. PX's mom apparently didn't raise him right. She makes all sorts of excuses for his rapey, drunken behavior. So, you know, here we are. It'll be I told you so all the way. Louis sent a problem solver chat. BBYQ. Some dockets got dropped today. None of them seem that interesting to me. It seems like the plan administrator is trying to speed along some of the claims. Like this is all stuff that could be happening while we emerge. We could be emerged by now, and they could still be working on this stuff. So, this right here, just this, all of this thing all day long. That's what we're doing. So, keep twiddling the thumbs because nothing interesting's happening on that front at the moment. Colin. Oh, yay. Trump threatening Canada with more tariffs for the retaliation tariffs. Yeah. Trump's like, you can't retaliate against my tariffs. I'm going to send more tariffs after you. And Canada's like, bro, we're not importing your stuff anymore. We'll get it from somewhere else. I went to work, and one of my coworkers was asking about like what's going on. I was like, oh, the economy's going to collapse. And she's like, well, why? I said, because obviously they aren't reading the news. Like, well, imposing tariffs on the rest of the world, and we're not going to be able to take these imports anymore, and price is going to go up, and our selection is going to go down, and everyone's going to lose their jobs, and we're going to be in Great Depression territory. And she was like, I'm going to go talk to Tony, because Tony's Republican. He can explain it to me in a way that'll make sense from his perspective. I was like, yeah, go for it. So she went and talked to him. She came back. She said, I feel much better now. I was like, well, why do you feel much better? And she said, well, the way he explained it is, like, we need to be making stuff here. And if we make stuff here, we don't have to worry about stuff out there, then, you know, more people have jobs and we'll have, like, quality goods. I was like, cool. Name me a country that's become shut off from the rest of the world that makes better products than a country that's connected to the rest of the world. She's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, well, let's name the countries that are cordoned off, that have sanctions, that have insular. You have Russia, you have North Korea, you have Iran, and you have Cuba. Do they make any products better than what we can get through international trade? Because they can't get anything through international trade. They're stuck. They're stuck as insular countries. So if you want to, like, you got your 2006, you know, Toyota Camry, and for the next 50 years, you want to tinker with that thing to make sure it keeps running and driving by, like, you know, forging little crappy pig iron, bog iron pieces in your garage, like they do in Cuba, then cool. Right? If you want to live like Russians, North Koreans, Iranians, or Cubans, by all means, cut yourself off from the rest of the world. Treat yourself. It'll be great. Right? But we're not, that's where we're headed. And she's like, crap, now I feel bad again. I'm like, good. Like, Debbie Downer's here to bring you back down to level here. But yeah, it's, what will happen is the rest of the world will have competition. They'll compete with each other and make better and better products. The United States will have no competition, and we will be stuck 50 years in the past. We'll chase away all the scientists, all the innovators, all the engineers. They will leave. They will go to where they can get paid and they can work on cool things. And everything here will stagnate and fester. And we will brain drain this country and we'll become mud people. That's, you know, that's our future, man. Citizen 54, apparently Trump might rescind tariffs tomorrow, so he's just gonna dump and buy everything. That's how they buy it all up. Yeah, probably. I mean, I wouldn't doubt if he bought $100 million in spy calls or something. and nets himself a couple $1 billion as a result. Seems
pretty straightforward, right, Monkey? Yeah.
Monkey agrees. Brendan Wells, sup BBY No Labs. We just did BBY No Labs. I got nothing. No Labs sent out an email last week. I think we discussed that. About how they're joining the OTCBY or whatever the sub OTC exchange is. It's like somewhat legitimate over the counter exchange that's still over the counter but has listings. That's about it. They're still fighting the New York Stock Exchange for why they got delisted. They've not mentioned anything about the fact that the people who are in charge of certifying medical devices for the FDA don't have jobs anymore. So I'm not sure if they do get around to finally doing their application, who the hell they're going to apply to. I have no clue because they don't exist anymore. So kind of missed the boat with the last administration on that one. They really should have just gone in what they have and gone from there. Boris Raspy, Houston, why can't you tell the truth and say there is no MOAS? Shake my head. Because I don't know if there's no MOAS. If Ryan Cohen keeps diluting every time the stock goes up, yeah, there will be no MOAS. I think at this point you need to have some sort of action from one of these guys to put the screws to the shorts, and vaporizing the SEC kind of makes it so they might be able to be negative on this stuff forever. But from a pure market mechanics perspective, if we're heading into a crash, like we're going to lose everything. The SPY will go from 570, whatever we are today, to 250, right? We lose 60% off the SPY, 70% off the SPY, somewhere around there. Bond yields drop because interest rates get slashed, property's worthless, right? So all the things that people use as collateral for these huge plays they make using like 30x margin, they don't have that anymore. They're underwater. The banks are screwed. They're stuck holding the bags on all these loans, right? They don't have cash. They had cash when the reverse repo facility. That's vaporized. So there's no liquidity. There's no cash. So what happens when these hedge funds no longer meet their margin requirements? That's coming. We've heard rumors about a couple of big guys blowing up. Tiger may be blowing up right now again. So what happens? You got to close positions at some point, or figure out some way to sweep it under the rug. And it's really hard. It's really easy to like sweep it under the rug if it's a Q stock that, Radio Shack or whatever, it's been out there dying for years and years and years. But when it's something like GameStop that has $4.6 billion in the bank or more now because they've made interest on all that stuff, how do you hide that? Right? You got to go close those positions. That's a very tangible, profitable stock. You're going to have to close it. So there still can be a MOAS. It just depends on how much the Trump administration can sweep it all under the rug. And I honestly don't know the answer to that part. Do you, Monkey? Do you know the answer? She does not know the answer. So, Charles Bronson, Houston. I think we may have been forgotten. What's going down with the SEC on March 6th? Thoughts about this retail investing fraud? Apparently, they sent out the, hey, if you resign, we'll give you like $25,000 email to everybody at the SEC. Those every single one of those folks at the SEC, every single one of them can go get a job at Goldman Sachs, at Chase, at fucking Citibank, at Citadel. They can go get a job paying them 10 times as much at any of those places whenever they want, right? The reason why the career people are at the SEC is purely because of altruism at this point. They're like, I'm doing something to try and do good and fix the markets and get these bad actors. And if they know their job's not going to be there anymore, they're going to go to the dark side. And we're going to lose that experience, and we're never going to get it back. like I said weeks ago, it's going to take 50 years to fix what's been broken just in the first few weeks of this administration. We're 6 weeks in, we're already crashing the economy. Like, we are speed running the destruction of America, and we're going to bring down everyone else we can with us. But you know what? While American defense stocks are collapsing, European defense stocks are flying through the roof right now. Europe's like, well, we have to arm ourselves not just only against Russia, but possibly against the United States of America as well. That's fucked up. That's really messed up. And, and they're not wrong to do it. Canada should be arming themselves right now. I'd be worried about Trump doing something stupid in Canada. So, yeah. You gotta look out for your own. We are the meth addict neighbor next door who's like blowing shit up in the yard, setting accidental fires. There's a pile of catalytic converters stolen from all the neighbors in the yard. And Canada and Europe are like, hey, buddy, you fell off the wagon there, huh? Would you like a cup of coffee and talk about it? And we're like, blah, 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 blah. And that's basically where we are. So they're going to have to put bars on their windows and get a gun and have the 911 on a speed dial because we're messed up. We're shitty. We're shit. We are mud people. And we're doing our darndest to be as mud people as we possibly can because we'd rather see bad things happen to other people than good things happen for ourselves. That is basically the United States in a mission statement. Like, look at Ryan Peterson. He's the guy from that shipping company that partners with GameStop and everything else, right? The dude runs a shipping company, moving mostly stuff from China to the United States. And he's all like, I can't believe he's putting more tariffs on China. My shipping business is ruined. Dude, you're a Trumper. You fucking voted for this. Right? Like, Project 2025. We want to get rid of video games. Agenda 47, Trump's campaign platform. We want to get rid of video games. Even last spring, Trump said, we should probably get rid of video games, giving a talk at one of his rallies. Ryan Cohen, the owner of the largest video game retailer in the world, is like, oh, Trump, woo! Yeah, Trump, yeah! The guy is going to murder your entire business plan. You fucking moron. What is wrong with you? Jesus, the divorce dad energy coming out of him is absolutely insane. No wonder his wife left him. Can you imagine putting up with that at home? Being like, hey, I might be Jewish, but you know what? This Nazi guy is really awesome. And his wife's like, what the hell? Right? Hey, they're going to get rid of video games, but not my video games because I voted for Trump. No, they're getting rid of your video games too, you fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. Like, I know people want to put Ryan Cohen on some sort of pedestal, but what the fuck has he done other than just tweet a bunch of bullshit over and over and over and accomplish nothing? Killed Moas twice, spends all his time just on Trump, lips are orange, and here we are. Like, what the fuck? All these veterans that have government jobs, and they're like, I voted for Trump 3 times. I never thought he'd fire me. He doesn't care about you. His entire job is to destroy this country. That's his edict from, Curtis Yarvin and from Vladimir Putin. They're like, hey, do whatever you can to ruin this shit. And Trump's like, I got you, bro. And they're doing it. So they are going to steamroll you. They will take all your money. They will, if you have something they want, they will full-on Russian oligarch defenestrate you out a window and take it. Because we are now a mafia state. Right? If Trump can just willy-nilly be like, I'm going to put tariffs on. Oh, we'll take them off. I'm going to put tariffs on. Oh, we'll take them off. So the market does this, and he's gaming the system the entire time. If he or one of his little buddies on a Saturday night take out a 50x margin and buy $200 million in Bitcoin just to sell right at Sunday morning when Trump announced, I'm going to do a strategic Bitcoin reserve, and his price goes up, 15 points, like, it's crimes. They're criming. So you got to understand that if you are not on the inside criming with them, and you are some sort of periphery, like raw, they're going to crime right through you, dude. You're toast. You're done, son. They will make sure you are ruined, and then if you have anything left, they'll pick over your corpse, take out the gold teeth, sell that to somebody. It's just It's baffling. Like, I will take no MOAS over a functional democracy. I'll gladly not have MOAS if we had a functional democracy. I wouldn't need it, right? We'd have probably universal health care. We'd have universal pre-K. We'd have free lunches at school for kids, right? We'd have infrastructure gets upkept. We wouldn't need MOAS because our lives would all be comfortable. We wouldn't be looking for a lotto shot to have something spectacular happen and be like, oh wow, like this is fun. I finally don't have to be a mud person anymore, right? That's where we are. Like I wouldn't give two shits about having a MOAS if we lived in a functional democracy where people could live comfortably. But no, we're just gonna rape and pillage our way across this country, and all of you are fodder. Just little pawns to get run over and swapped for the queen. That's what it is, man. At least I still got clean water, even though the Supreme Court today ruled they can shit in the water all day long with public sewage plants. Water quality no longer matters, according to the Supreme Court. So enjoy your clean water while you can. It's the last day of it. Frozen State Productions, the cyber cuts are apparently only against Russia, and we have mineral rights deal. We don't have a mineral rights deal because both the Ukrainian ambassador and a spokesman for Zelensky are like, no, bro. Here's the thing about the U.S. aid for Ukraine is that it had conditions, right? We give you this aid. It does not allow you to do, certain strikes against different facilities and invade and stuff like that. And Ukraine's had to hold back on a lot of offensive runs that they would make. Now that we're not going to give them anything anymore, Ukraine can do what Europe wants them to do, which is fucking steamroll the Russians. So, you're probably looking at a joint EU forces eventually going into Ukraine, protecting Ukraine while the Ukrainians storm into Russia. That's my guess of what's going to happen. Finland, Sweden, and Norway can spool up nuclear weapons in about 2 weeks. That's about the timeline for them to be like, okay, we can have a nuclear bomb built in 2 weeks. So they can become nuclear powers in an instant. You already have, in Germany could do the same thing, even though they are, kind of prohibited from it. But, Russia was prohibited from invading Ukraine. So there you go. But, you still got nuclear powers of France and the UK. It's gonna be pretty darn messy there. So yeah, we're not gonna do any more cyber. So we're not gonna worry about cybersecurity or attacks on Russia anymore. And they're also firing everybody who built the government websites. So those are gonna go unprotected. Yeah, it's just a bad sign. It's Houston. We have lots and lots of problems. Monkey dog, 3 legs. Ain't even up on the list at this point, buddy. I'm sorry. We're all gonna be 3-legged at some point. Actually, I'd like to be 3-legged if you know what I mean. Andrew Stewart, Houston. Getting to see you some shirts to your PO box soon. What's your favorite black comedy? I like Dr. Strangelove personally. Ooh. Favorite black comedy. Ooh. An underrated one. Get Smoochy was very underrated. I thought that was a pretty darn good black comedy. What else would be up there? That's the first one that came to mind. There's some that are kind of borderline, almost dark comedy, but still kind of goofy at the same time. There was one. What was it? It had I think it was Kevin Kline and husky voice Kathleen Turner. They play spies or FBI agents that are on maternity leave. They just had a baby and they're somehow on vacation with the baby, and they get mixed up in this underground mafia thing in New Orleans. Undercover Blues. That was a funny movie, and I think Stanley Tucci is in it playing Muerte. That was a good one. but it's like also kind of borderline goofy. But at the same time, like has a noir element to it. It's a tweener. It's a tweener. There's some others that have like a darker element, but like then have like a goofy veneer. There was that Richard Pryor one, Hear No Evil, See No Evil. That was pretty good. Like, it's like there's like a dark element, but then there's like goofy guys sort of like do the bridges between them all. That's what I include in there. No, I don't think those ones quite qualify as dark comedy, but at the same time, they're pretty darn good. I don't know. Get Smoochie is kind of top of my list at the moment, so I can think of. Oh, there's a Killing Mona. That one was pretty good. Like one thing of Killing Mona, Danny DeVito, and the lesser Affleck. That was a funny movie. That's a good one. But thank you for the shirts. I love me some shirts. Just got that going for me, right? Marcelo Giordano. Hey, Houston. Happy birthday. Thoughts on Doge closing several SEC offices? The folks who think that the Trump administration is going to fix all the ails the retail investors, he's not. He's going to take your money. That's what he's going to do. And closing the SEC offices is proof positive of that. Because if you don't have the enforcers available, the lawyers available, the investigators available, because you fire them all, then nothing's ever going to get done. Like, the solution to the problem is not, hey, the SEC isn't doing a good enough job, let's fire everyone. The solution is, hey, the SEC isn't doing a good job, let's give them more teeth and more people so they can actually do what we want them to, which is fix the problems. You only slash everything if you want to commit all the crimes and get away with it. I mean, like the way they did the beneficial ownership, the getting rid of the beneficial ownership is 100% so people can launder money. That's it. It's a money laundering operation. So, but people are like, yeah, it's pretty good we got rid of beneficial ownership. No, that's so that everyone can launder money everywhere and get away with it. That's the entire purpose of that. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. But it's a pain in the ass, especially if you're not laundering money, right? So yeah, launder all you want at this point, I guess. If we do have a MOAS and you do get your big payday, just send that shit straight to the Caymans. Don't even worry about it. There's not gonna be no one to check up on you. Personal name. Why did the SPY go up today? I don't know. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it should have gone down 50 points. The SPY should have just kept falling off a cliff today. It should have just been Fall City, man. So I don't know. I have no clue why that happened. Nunamoth, how'd you come up with a $150 Tesla price target? Gut. I mean, sales in Europe are down 50-something%. Sales in the US are down 30-something%. Sales in Canada and Australia are like down 80+%. China, people have like kind of stopped buying Teslas in China because the BYDs are so much more superior. So yeah, Tesla has no business. They're like, oh, we're gonna make robo-taxis. Cool. Your full self-driving sucks and can't work as a robo-taxi. You can't trust people not to have their hands on the steering wheel at all times on your full self-driving. So it makes full self-driving pointless. So no, Tesla is, as a company, is done. Their only hope to survival is if somehow, Elon takes $1 trillion of the U.S. government and just somehow just gives it to Tesla and forces everyone to like drive a Tesla around or something. That's it. The cars are piling up. You go to like abandoned malls around the country and there's just Teslas everywhere sitting there rotting. Although the wheel thieves apparently having a hell of a time stealing wheels off of all the Teslas. They aren't taking the wheels off the Cybertrucks though, because those things are apparently so garbage that no one wants them on their trucks. The metal's so brittle that they like the hubs keep spinning out of the wheel and just shatters. So, oops. So yeah, but they're stealing the alloy wheels off of like the Model 3s and the Ys and the S's and stuff. So, yeah. Oops. Alt F4, press them. Happy birthday, Houston. Price of the bonds for BBY are going up. It looks like trading above 2.5% recovery for Class 6. Announcement soon. That's what everyone's wondering, because while bonds everywhere else are collapsing at the moment out of fears of recession, BBBY ones are now above 2.5% recovery. Interesting. Yeah. E Minimus, damn, better buy a car quick. Yeah, dude. you got days, really. So, I'm sure you're gonna do. You're gonna be here soon. Steel Horse Nomad. Put some pictures in there. What do we got? Graphs going down. Yeah, game over. It looks like an angry robot face. Oh no, someone biting their nails. That's what that is. Bex, hey Houston. What a shitty day for your birthday. For the first time since the Cold War, I actually fear what's happening. Canadians are uniting. What are the U.S. people feeling? News is a mess. I think most Americans are pissed. You get the 30%, the people that, you can just discount what they say because they're the worst people in the entire world. They're like the ones that, when after Bush had like crashed the entire economy, there's like he had 30% approval rating. It's like, he crashed the economy, got us into protracted wars, and resulted in like more American deaths than anybody. And then when Trump did the exact same thing, 30% of people still approved of him. But 30%, you can just ignore them. It's the other 70%. Those are the folks that are gonna have to band together and take this one on. I don't know how it's going to gel and how people are going to get together. But like a few years ago, the state of Kansas went on a giant slashing spree like this and almost destroyed the state of Kansas. And they basically had to get rid of a whole bunch of their legislators, get rid of the governor, and go back to like providing services and infrastructure for people. The state of Nebraska is about 6 months from having to declare bankruptcy. A state in the United States got to declare bankruptcy because they voted overwhelmingly to vaporize their farming, their agriculture sector. And the agriculture sector is losing all its money and their tax base has disappeared. And that's it. Nebraska's done. Oops. So there may have to be some really, really dark periods for certain groups of the population for them to realize the mistake they've made. They have to touch that stove and to find out that it's hot. One of my favorite sayings is, a smart person learns from their mistakes, a wise person learns from the mistakes of others. Like, it shouldn't be too hard to go through your 8th grade civics class, history class, whatever you want to call it, and learn about the Holocaust and World War II to go, oh, yeah, the Nazis were the bad guys, right? It's not difficult. You don't have to experience what 1933 through 1945 Germany were like. You don't have to experience it. You can read about it and go, oh, yeah, Nazis are bad. But for a significant portion of the population, they somehow get cowed into believing the Nazis were misunderstood. Oh no, the Nazis were misunderstood. We should try that here. And now they're experiencing what a fucking shit show it is. And they're like, oh, I regret everything. Like, buddy, I'm glad you're learning from your mistakes, but it's a little too late now. Like, you should have listened to us. You know, Ryan Peterson, like, I didn't think he was actually going to do these tariffs, and now it's ruining my business. It was like his number one campaign thing was tariffs, 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 tariffs. Believe what he says, because it's what he does. He puts tariffs on stuff. It's like, you ever play like Street Fighter? You have that one friend who like can only do the one move for the character, right? And they do it over and over again. You just keep kicking their ass, and they like just because it worked for them once like 6 years ago. That's Trump and tariffs. It's his solution to everything. If you know, the newspaper shows up late, tariffs, right? Breakfast is cold, tariffs. I stepped on a Lego, tariffs. There's a weed in the garden, tariffs. Some guy cut me off in traffic, tariffs. That's all he knows how to do. Tariffs, 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 tariffs. And he still doesn't understand what they are. He can't explain them. If you sit Donald Trump down and you ask him to explain what a tariff is, he still can't do it. It's the only finishing move he knows is to mash that button and make tariffs happen. So, I don't know. I am beside myself. I'm apoplectic with like the information that's coming in. And I just can't imagine that we as a country somehow twice had put the most simultaneously the dumbest, most evil, and most incompetent person in the entire country into the seat of power. Because 20 years ago, people watched a made-up show called The Apprentice where Donald Trump was some sort of business wizard when it was all manufactured. It was straight up manufactured. The guy was never a business wizard. If Donald Trump had taken the $400 million he had gotten from his dad, right? Let's, you know what? Where's my calculator? There's my calculator. Boom. Calculator? There you are. Okay. So, Donald Trump took the $400 million from his dad, right? And he put it in the SPY in 1980. The SPYs had basically 25% returns, basically since if you reinvest the dividends and everything else, since 1980. So $400 million, 25% returns. Okay, ready? 1981, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000. 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. This dude would be worth $9 trillion if he just took up finger painting and did nothing else. But no, he had to manipulate it and bankrupt 2 casinos and 4 other companies and himself. These numbers are bonkers. Even if it was 8% returns. Holy shit, 8% returns. So 400 million. It was put in a Vanguard fund, right? Times 1.08. 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. By next year, it'll be worth $13 billion. So, it's just, he's such a genius. He burned everything, man. Seriously, finger painting and doing nothing would result in him having a larger cash and actual value today. He's built up billions right now off of scamming people on crypto. He's currently selling face-to-face meetings. So if you want to go have a conversation with Trump, have his ear, you have to pay him $5 million for a one-on-one. The president of the United States is selling one-on-one meetings with him. That is straight up bribery. That's a crime. That is graft. We put people in prison for that. The former mayor of New Orleans went to prison because he took $90,000 from someone. This dude's taking $5 million just to have dinner with him. It's just nuts. It's absolutely bonkers. Here's okay. All right. Nothing in place in case bad actor becomes president. Apparently. See, bad actor, literally a bad actor, a guy who's really bad at acting is president right now. Alex Bishop, super chats. Do you think Trump will shoot people that revolt because of high cost of living? Yes. His tweet today basically said, if you protest, we're going to throw your ass in prison. We're going to expel you from colleges. Your life is over. So basically, free speech is done. The right to protest is over, according to him. And there'll be some lackeys at certain state schools who will be like, oh, we're going to lose our 10% federal funding. We better punish our entire student population, and they're going to destroy their schools in the process. Yeah, they'll shoot people. Did you ever watch the first season of Handmaid's Tale? And they did these like little flashbacks to like how we get here. And one of them is everyone goes out and they're like protest, like, hey, this is bullshit. And then some guy from the National Guard just opens up a Gatling gun and just mows everyone down. That's probably going to happen at some point, be my guess. Is that there's going to be some, E2 in the National Guard who, I'm just doing what I was told. If people are coming at me, I just mow them all down. And that'll be the deciding factor of, do we actually revolt and get rid of this guy? Or do we just go, all right, well, we're in a totalitarian state now, and that's the way things work, and now we have to tiptoe around. I mean, there's thousands of hours of me calling him a fucking piece of shit on YouTube. I can't hide from that. I'll be in the camps. I'll see you there. So, if you're going to go down proud. At least like with some dignity, because regardless, you're still going to go down. Because the whole point of a totalitarian state is you punish people who are against you, and you punish people who are for you, to keep everybody in this like melancholy state of compliance. During the Night of the Long Knives, as the brown shirts are being massacred by SS and Gestapo, right? They were still yelling Heil Hitler as they're being executed. They were blind faith in the man and taking him out. So, there are MAGA folks losing their jobs, losing their housing, facing medical debt, probably losing their Social Security, and they're still like, well, Donald Trump's the best because he said he was going to fix everything, and they're going to have blind faith, and they're going to face their deaths, still believing this man is on their side, despite the fact that he's killing them. And that's our future. It's really dark. It's really bleak, and I don't know how to have a revolution. I have no clue. I don't have a gun. I don't have a tank. I don't have access to that stuff. I have no military training. I shot a 22 at camp in 6th grade. That's basically the extent of my training. So, it's going to take people who have skill and expertise to somehow lead this or find a way. We need ourselves a John Connor to take this thing on, Charles de Gaulle, right? We need somebody to back this thing up. Free Luigi, maybe he can do it. Apparently, I just read an article today that Luigi has like 20 plus sex tapes that he's made, and they have really good lighting. But all the girls who are in them are scared to release them because they don't want to get tied up in his court problems. So, hey, Luigi's a player, man. If I had the looks and charm charisma of Luigi Mangione and probably the gigantic hog, I'd probably make tapes too. Sad Boy Incorporated, super chats. Howdy, Houston. Where do you see the spy at end of week? I think it depends on what Trump says tonight. If he is really, really mean tonight, as some have stated, that's what's in the speech, is like cruelty, I think the spy can drop 100 points over the next 5 to 7 trading days, which means at the end of the week, it could be at 530, 525, somewhere in there. Right, Monkey? Yeah. So, yeah. Corporate Walnut. I like a poorly made sushi dinner. We're cooked. Yeah. I guess I'll go back to Sad Boy. If Trump does this thing where he's like, oh, yoink, I'm going to take the tariffs back, and then we rally because everyone's like, oh, yay, we're saved, and he's going to put them right back on again on April 1st because he's a dickhead and he's going to drop again. This uncertainty and volatility is going to start wiping people out because people aren't going to be able to predict when the bad things are happening and when the good things are going to happen. And it's going to start eating up the liquidity, and it's going to start vanishing. So overall, that's just going to trend. Everything's just going to trend down in the long run. Corporate One, sorry. Like a poorly made sushi dinner, we're cooked. Yeah. Yes. Nonamoff, I think I saw Jill Stein in the back of a milk carton. Oh yeah, Jill Stein. Yeah, she's out there like being the champion of the downtrodden right now, right? Won't see her again for another 4 years, so she can siphon off 1% of the votes from the Democrats so that they lose. The Democrats are also not doing themselves any favor. They the DNC meeting that happened over the weekend, like they sort of established like what we're going to do going forward. Is there like we're going to stop being combative and we're going to stop focusing on small donations and focus on say corporate donations and we're gonna do PR about how patriotic we are. Dude, that's how John Kerry lost. That's how Clinton lost. That's how you were doing really well with Kamala early on when you're letting Tim Walz talk about how everyone's fucking weird. That worked great. These guys are weird. And everyone's like, they are weird. I like that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden some consultant's like, you can't have Tim Walz talk about them being weird anymore. You got to like put them in a corner. And they did that and they lost. No. Be authentic. DNC. Take authentic candidates who have chutzpah and charisma. They got the Riz, right? Put them out there and get them in front of people. You cannot manufacture the most boring human beings in the entire world into somebody who's awesome by like forcing them into some sort of consultant niche. And the consultants are wrong all the time. Let their freak flags fly, man. We need it. We need somebody to rally around. And there's nobody prominent right now to rally around who's at the forefront of the Democratic Party. We have a whole bunch of milquetoast pussies. There needs to be somebody who can put their foot down, get in front of things, lead marches, yell and scream, and have a hissy fit. We need it. You know? AOC, Crockett, right? Get those two out on every single TV news channel, have them insulting every single Republican across the aisle from them, and just berating them for the public. We need some good insult comedy going on to alleviate the situation and paint these people as the fucking weirdos that they are. Because they're weird. We're gonna get rid of video games and we're gonna monitor everyone's internet usage because God, right? That's weird. It's weird. It's so weird. We're gonna make sure that Russia gets exactly what they want and that you don't. That's their MO, man. Like, did you see the senator from Iowa? I can't remember her name right now. Watson or whatever her name is. Got busted having an affair with an Air Force lobbyist, and that was held over her head, and that's why she voted for Pete Hegseth. Otherwise, she was going to vote against Pete Hegseth to be Secretary of Defense, and so the vote would have failed because it would have been 49-51, and they blackmailed her, being like, "Hey, we're going to let everyone know that you had an affair with this guy," and that's what we got, man. They're weird, monkey. This lady's having affairs, and she wants to monitor your internet usage, buddy. And get rid of your video games. Like, what's the deal, yo? Right? I know your eyes just got really big because I, too, think it's fucked up. And Jigashukla Super Chats, Walls AOC 28. I take it. Yeah, that works for me. Yeah, let Walls lead the party. Talk about what weirdos these people are. And there you go. Done. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, Jigish. I will make my small donation to that. Right, Monkey? Yeah, she's Monkey's on board. All right, it's time for me to go. Everybody have a happy Fat Tuesday. Enjoy whatever you have, parades or boobies or whatever happening where you are. I should probably eat a moon pie. I still have some of these things. I don't know how well they keep, but I'll eat a moon pie. No, this is chocolate. You cannot have this. I know it makes crinkly sounds, but that is regrettable. That is old marshmallow right there. Ah, okay. Bye. Chances the Democrat yells, "You lied tonight." Not zero. Someone's gonna have to make a name for themselves, right? Oh, it's chocolate's all over my teeth. Okay. Bye-bye.